This is the second video in the percentage series. The purpose, using percentage increase to work with inflation outcomes, calculate the price of goods in the future using inflation rate, and use a graph to explain rate of inflation and identify periods of deflation. We looked at inflation using the bread price, and remember, inflation is the general increase in the price of services and goods, a basket of services and goods, about 1,500 of them. The other thing to remember is inflation is compound interest, which is interest on interest, which is also repeated simple interest, for want of a more simplified way of putting it. Right, we need to have a look at the graph, and the blue line indicates the bread price, and you will see the bread price continues to rise up until 2010, 2011. And then from 2011 to 2012, you will see the price decreases from 8.31 to 8.18. Now we need to look at this in terms of the graph showing rate of change. If we have a look, so the one thing I want you to look at in particular is this part of the graph where we are often incorrect in saying that the bread price decreased, when in fact it didn't. Let's just look at the two graphs together. This went from 36.80% to 3.10%. And that showed us that it was this increase in price, which was R7.18 to R7.40. All this means is that from that year to that year, the percentage increase was very small. So even though this graph showing percentage increase goes down in certain places, it is still a percent, or the bread price still increases. What we have to notice is from 8.31 to R8.18, you can see the graph has gone below the line, and that is where the price of bread decreased, and that is called deflation. So we have inflation. At this point, it is called deflation. So bread increased by negative 1.6%. So as soon as it's a negative, it is deflation, and it means the price of bread actually decreased. We can have a look at it on this graph here. It was inflation in the UK in the 1920s and 30s. And what happened? These sections here show deflation because they are below zero. So prices go down, and deflation is a general decline in prices for goods and services, typically associated with the contraction in the supply of money. So there's less money and credit in the economy. During deflation, the purchasing power of currency is much greater. So during this time, your money can buy you much more than during these times here. Look at the calculations involving inflation and deflation. Let's look at inflation rate calculations. At present, in 2020, rice costs R16.99 a kilogram. We can use the inflation rate to determine what the rice will cost next year. Remember, I said that inflation is compound interest, which is worked on simple interest to start off with. So if the inflation rate is 2.43%, we're going to take R16.99 and we're going to increase it by 2,43 over 100 multiplied by 16 Rand 99. If I do that calculation, we will get 16 Rand 99 plus 0,412857. We only round off at the end. If I add those two together, I will then get 17 Rand, 402, and I only have to write 3 decimal places because money's rounded to 2. So I look at the neighbor, which is 4 or less, let it rest. So next year we can expect rice to cost 17 Rand and 40 cents. If you have a look, you will see inflation is considerably lower this year than the previous years. It has been going down, and a possible cause for this is most probably the coronavirus, the biggest cause of that. So as we can predict the future, what something would cost, and remember it's only an estimate, we can also calculate what it cost accurately last year. So inflation last year was 4.13%. So what we are going to do, remember when we were working that way, we multiplied by 1 plus I. When we work this way, we are going to divide by 1 plus I. And I, in this case, is 4.13% over 100. If I write that as a decimal, I will get 0.0413, which is what I'm going to use in the I plus 1. So I will get 16 Rand 99. Remember, I'm going backwards, so I'm going to divide by 1 plus 0.0413. And if you put it like that on your calculator, you will get to the answer 16,316 and a whole lot of decimals. Remember, 5 or more, let it soar, so it's 2 decimal places. I look at the neighbor, it is more than 5. So a year ago, that same packet of rice would have cost 16 Rand 32. And remember, if I have to go back 2 years, so that was in 2019, if I had to go the price in 2018, we have to go calculate year on year. So I would take that and I would then divide by the inflation rate of 2018, which was 4.62%. So I would take the new price divided by 4.62%, which is going to be 1 plus 0.0462. So remember, it is repeated simple interest, which in essence is compound interest. That is how you work out inflation and the price the previous